Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I am back and better. I know you've missed me. I've missed you too. Welcome to Off the Clock with your amazing host as usual, Juliet. And today, just like every other day, we have something special for you. So just sit back, relax, and have some fun. Welcome back to Off the Clock. And today we are going to be exploring a very interesting topic. You can see me dressed. Can you guess? Can you guess what topic? Yes, it's tech. I know tech is a very interesting topic. And here we have a very, very amazing guest in our midst. He has been in that game for a long time. And we thought it was so yes, bring him to the show. Let him tell us all the opportunities that we can explore in the world of tech. We have here Mr. Edward Ekwase. Really nice to meet you, Mr. Edward.
Nice to meet you and nice to be here.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being in the studio. So how did it start for you? How did it begin?
Okay. Tech started my last year of secondary school. A group of Christians and somebody came up with the idea of coding in HTML. It was quite exciting those days. We got to it, and that was the year 95. So we got to it, and it was interesting. And from there, we transitioned into after my secondary school, I went into maintenance and repairs of computer by late 95, and the rest is history.
Now, would you say maintenance of computer was one of the very visible opportunities in tech, or invisible? Where would you put it?
Tech in itself is broad. Okay, so when we look at maintenance and repairs, it is geared towards just your systems, your computer systems in itself. So that's where you get the maintenance and repairs of PC, which I did at a very tender age, at that age of leaving secondary school. But maintenance also runs through all tech. So then it was the hint, it was the obvious part of it, because then people were just acquiring computers. There were very few as at that time, and they were more concerned about how to maintain it. So that was a hot spot for everybody. Nobody was really interested in coding, because what you were doing in the computer those days were typing, doing word processing and all that. That was the main thing that was on. And so maintenance and repair would have been a hot cake.
It's important because I know in every industry we have the hot cake and the not so hot cake. So I really needed to ask that question because I was not there. You mentioned that you got into tech at a very young age, 1995 you mentioned. So that was a pretty early time. And I'm just glad that this is coming up, because people at home watching, wherever they are, they would love to know how this thing became. Thank you. So the career path between the old tech and the new tech, because right now I can say confidently that you've experienced both of them. What do you miss about the old tech that you think should be inculcated in the new tech?
Okay, in the area of maintenance, for example, and repairs of PCs, okay, something loud, very loud, but missing, and it's overlooked. Those days when we maintain systems, we maintain to component level. But when you go out today, you find people maintaining to body level. In other words, your board is bad. They do a lot of replacement now, and that is missing from the old. We didn't do replacing of boards. We ensured that the board worked. We were able to read boards. We read them from top to bottom. You were able to know the color codes of a whole lot of things. But today you have ICs, which you can also still follow to component level. But in the practice, generally, people just basically do replacement. It's a big, huge part that's missing in that aspect of maintenance.
Is there any distinct reason you think that will happen?
Yes.
Okay,
One of the reasons would be that it's not a global village. Okay, things can get to you very quickly. There are a lot of marketplaces online where you can get these
easily get.
things. Yeah, but those days you would have to um, get somebody traveling overseas to order the parts. So your intelligence has to come into play, and that is one. The second thing is the boards now. Those days we had ICs and maybe very few microprocessors on the boards. But today you have a lot of, you still have these same components, but they've now been advanced. They made very little. And so the men look at it sometimes, care maintenance people. It's selective. If you go around, you find selective people are able to, though there are people who can actually work it up, but I can guarantee they are usually from the old school or have learned from people from the old school are able to fix it. So I think that would have been the major contributing factor that the components have now become very complex and the boards have become tinier. As a matter of fact, there are some components you have to fix. You have to have a lens to be able to see that eye level. So I think that's
Thank you so much for that insightful take. We have a particular genre of tech called coding.
Yeah.
If I mention tech, the very first thing that comes into the mind of every young person now is coding because that one has been made very popular. But apart from coding, what other prospective parts of tech would you like to push to the outer world?
Um, uh, tech in itself is, I would classify tech as a very rich orchard, a very rich orchard of multiple, it's versatile. Um, there is no, from region to region, okay, the demand for a specific type of tech will have to do with the people in that region. For example, coding seems to be the main thing, right? But for environments like where you build, like in Ghana and some other countries right now, there are people who build robots. Okay, they're not particular about coding. They're particular about programming of machines to
Machines and
do
robots.
certain things. Now, because tech is a rich orchard, there are um, besides coding, there are the social media parts where people tend to, everybody's crazy about it. In fact, the dumbest person right now could possibly just put something on any of the social media platforms and all that. So I think that it has to be region based when you talking about that, about the part that is sort of like feeling that is not out. Every day something will pops out. It depends on the individual. If you can think it, tech can do it.
Let's delve a little bit. We're talking about tech, but can we have tech in fashion?
Yes,
In a random industry like fashion, can we have tech?
yes, tech has reached fashion. I promise you. In fact, tech works in your sawmills. It's just that here in Nigeria, a lot of us have not advanced into that level. I remember once while overseas, I wanted to get a table, so I went to the shop to get a table. You know, in Nigeria, you have to get a carpenter to get a table. So I went to the exact place where you get woods, and they were like, "What?" The sample of table I wanted to build. I showed it to them, and right there in the system, they uploaded that picture, and the computer was able to calculate the amount of boards I need, and they made me pay for it and the cutting of the board. In less than an hour, leaving that factory, I had the complete table cut to size. The saw blade machine is attached to a computer, and it puts all the red lines around the board and start cutting precisely and does that. And then all you do is it knows where to bore the holes for you to screw them. So you don't. So they give you in less than 1 hour. They're giving you the whole thing, and you just go home and screw them up and you have a table. So As far as the capital of shop can have that, the fashion industry also have that kind of stuff. If you go, there's this new fashion competition they're doing in Mexico right now, and they just give you a dummy, and then you go to the system. You actually have your design on paper, upload it to the computer, it restructures it, and you load your material, cuts it to size. So you only join. So practically tech has reached there.
Interesting. So if you are a fashion designer in the house, just know that beyond traditional fashion, it has gotten higher, it has gotten better, and you should move in with the flow, don't you think? So there are certain misconceptions. There are certain misconceptions about tech. I mean, I've heard people say, "Oh, this guy he just sits at home, does nothing. He's a boy, or is a fraudster." Or there's just one tag they put on their name. What do you think tech bros and tech is like we all love to call them? What do you think they can do to make it better?
Okay. First of all, the misconception of um, merging a Yahoo boy and a tech person together, it's everywhere. Like in my neighborhood, my neighbors wonder what I do because my generator is always on all the time. And I'm indoors. And then I come out in the evening, I take a stroll, come back, and I'm working.
Classic.
Now, what I do most times is that for my, I consult for clients outside Nigeria. So practically, they have me on the clock. I cannot just pop out of my house when I like because I've committed myself to several kinds of multiple jobs. There are many ones that they've done that even somebody from grade 5 can do, at primary 5. There are jobs they can do online. There are jobs that people from you practically maybe you could have live sessions and teach. So it depends on what you're doing. So if you're a brother or a sister who think you have a skill, there is a tech audience for you. That's just the truth. No matter what the skill is. I mean, if you go to Facebook right now, you find people doing herbal products. Okay. Now you can imagine that that person has a raw skill. He's doing the training. But this is how beautiful tech is. If I look at that person, I can see the handicaps in the video. And if I'm a video tech person, I can approach the person and I've got a job. You understand? Then again, I could see that that person may not have that handicaps, but may just have the branding handicaps. I don't mean the branding digitally, I mean the designs and all that. So you can approach that person and say, look, I can do your design. So there's lots and lots of jobs in tech. And don't see anybody sitting at home assuming they're not doing anything. Get close to them, ask one or two questions. They probably will just disclose to you how many jobs they do. I do graphic design for clients in Canada, United States, London. I have South Africa. I have Mexico. I do graphic design for these people. I also do video editing for some of them. So they upload the videos. Then I do bookkeeping for some. So you see, I'm one person, but every little knowledge I have, there's a tech audience and a demand for that skill. So it just keeps me indoors all the time. And it pays.
It should pay.
It does pay.
Tech should pay.
It does pay.
Seeing as you are a man that does a lot of things, I would like to ask, for the purpose of our audience, do you have a school or an academy where you teach these things, and how do they go about it?
For most of the people that I work with, I am working towards sort of a digital academy, yes. But for the now, what I do to most of my clients, especially when they come and they say, oh, I need a computer. I see this as an opportunity. I buy you a computer and I install a software in it. Now that software helps me do consultation for you. Let's assume you can't print with your device. You connect to Miss TeamViewer. It's free, and there's any desk, they love them. Now, once I put that on your system, I connect to you, and I'm able to teach you in your home, wherever you are, so long as there's internet. So while I'm supplying the system to you, I practically just show you how to hook up to the system. If you don't, we use your WhatsApp video and I still show you how to connect to it. But once you're connected, you just need to watch your laptop screen. and I'm teaching you. So currently I have a lot of people I'm teaching. I have churches I'm teaching overseas. I have two churches I'm teaching how to set up their sound and video and editing and all that in America. And I have people in South Africa I'm teaching coding. I have people in Nigeria that I deal with in Lagos. Yes, I'm in Benin, but then I have people in Lagos that I still teach stuff. And then I have students that I'm busy with that want to write jam and write. There are lots of resources that I have to be able to be automated that can help you measure your learning skills and stuff like that. So there's just so much solutions that I have. I'm more than willing to train, teach people to assist me to be on their own, whatever they want to do. Yes, I'm open to that.
I like to paint a scenario. So I'm a lawyer. I've been in the law firm for 20 years. And I wake up and I'm like, okay, I love this thing. I think there's prospect. How do I switch? What are the tips you can give me as a certified IT person? What are the tips you can give me in order for me to glide in successfully?
Okay. The first things first is to be precise about what you want to do. Just like I said just now, whatever you want to do, there's an audience for it.
Yeah.
There is a doctor today who, for this fact that she wanted her children to learn the right moral lessons at a very tender age, the doctor is no longer practicing. She is now into animations. The drive was, I want my children to learn the right way. And so what she did was to get into sketching. There are a lot of softwares, even on your phone, that teaches you that you can sketch with. Now, there are also a lot of softwares where you take that sketch and it can animate it. You can add your voice and stuff like that. With AI is even much more easier. You don't need to draw. AI has made it very, very easy. You don't need to know how to draw. They generate characters for you. You can actually generate your own characters with your own words. Yeah. So if you are a lawyer who loves tech, you love what you see and you want to be part of it, the quickest will be your AI channel. It's the quickest assist because ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and several other softwares can actually generate prompts for you that you can take to InVideo and there's several other platforms you can take them to, Leonardo and all that. And they'll generate the character according to how you taught them. And then you can take it to other softwares and animate them, like Midjourney and all that, and animate those characters. And you've already started. You could start by making mistakes. In IT, mistakes are allowed because part of the learning process. So you could start by making mistakes, getting it better. And as you, in 30 days, you're good. 30 days, 90 days, you should be a pro of some sorts in a certain direction. So it's not difficult. It's waiting for you. That's what I would say.
Okay.
Text awaits you.
That's it. So we're going to go back to the lesser known parts of tech once again, because it's actually a very interesting topic. I mean, people need to know that apart from the very popular ones, there are some hidden gems somewhere that should come out somehow. So if we're going to go there now, I want to learn from you, and also people at home watching, I want us to learn from you. If you were to choose one underdeveloped area in tech to blow out, which would it be?
If I put Nigeria in the context, okay,
Yeah.
I would choose robotics.
Robotics. Why is that?
Because there are a lot of people who want to go into manufacturing that do the process manually. Some of them do it semi-automatic. I'll give you an example. When Innocent started manufacturing his cars, they literally had to carry the fabricating machines around, so they were producing less cars. Now, some tech people got to him. It was going to cost a lot, but what he did, he built a half-automated factory, and then he was able to deliver 1,000 cars within about a month. Today, Innocent has, I think he's going for the second assembly line now. So, which means all he needs to do is to have a prototype of the vehicle, put it in, program it to the robots, which is robotics, and they start building. So, let's say, for example, you have access to a 200 by 200 for the land, and you have tomatoes cultivated there. And you want to have your own team tomatoes that you want to be in the market.
Mm.
Now, because your harvest is bountiful and is a lot, you are able to do the initial process of boiling and steaming. But now you see that team, you can actually get those materials. There are guys, I think, in the Lagos are able to build the robots. But you see, the parts that you connect to it to make it automated, you see, we need people to study that a lot. If we have a lot of people doing that, there are several processes that are haphazard these days now that will be perfectly done. You need to get to that. It's in Dr. somewhere, was in Lagos. If you get there, you'll be amazed what Nigerians can do manually. When you get there and see the machines and you understand robotics, you start thinking, how do I come in? Medically, you have people who don't have limbs. And you have little girls in Ghana that are already building limbs for them. I'm talking of secondary school girls. Last week, somebody came up with a hand glove that helps you when you have stroke. You wear the hand gloves and it starts helping you stretch the hands onto it. It's a type of therapy. So this is a new image. It's sort of, people don't look at it because they feel, if I get in there, it's going to take a long time. No, it doesn't really. When you're there, you get to understand. So that's one of them. Another one would be besides, would be packaging. How do I mean packaging? Now, I was at a specific restaurant the other day to get food, and they put their stuff in nylon. And it's a pity because it's not hygienic. Yes, they are not biodegradable. It takes a long time to break down. So, but there are techs that can actually, in fact, there are diagrams online because of that technology. It's not so rampant in Nigeria right now. They're smaller devices, and you could just put that paper, you can mark it out with dotted lines. All you need to do is bring it out, fold it, and you have your cups for drinking, you have your packs for kids to I mean, these things are there. I would want that to also be developed. And then there's the part for, I remember it now. If I remember, I'll tell you before I go. But there's just a whole lot of them. People just shy away from it. And you find them when you go to the Western world that people are working in this. So you could have a small factory in your home where you just produce these things for people. And you could also be in millions like the guys coding. For me, I think coding takes a lot of your mental capability. And if you're not in that, because there's some people that are vocational nowadays, you can also get into tech. You can get into it.
Interesting. Talking about shying away, we have people that they really want to get into tech, but the problem is funding. So they know of the schools, the academies, the places that they need to be to get this knowledge. But the only option they have is to be self-taught. Do you know of any platforms where people can access information that helps the tech journey generally?
Yes. If anybody doesn't know YouTube, I think the person is the iPhone. Now, YouTube has got a lot of kudos. Okay, in my coding journey, I'll give one person that they can look for on YouTube that helped me in my coding journey. Now, this guy never went to the university, he actually quit school because he felt it was a total waste of time. His name is Bucky Roberts. Bucky Roberts has a channel that teaches nearly everything. Name the type of, he's a genius. I'm just saying that so that you could just search Bucky Roberts, you find his platform. You have chemistry being taught there, you have biology, you have all the science subjects are taught in Bucky Roberts' platform. He's just one of the many people that do that. There is Eureka for people who want to code. On YouTube, there's Eureka channel. If you're into video and stuff like that, there are video channels. Then you have Udemy. Udemy has a lot of free courses where you can learn. You have Coursera, where you had the opportunity of studying with several universities in different countries. I remember there's a girl who currently edits for the Nigerian movie industry right now. After her graduation, I told her to come to my office and I put her through Coursera. She did a course for how to create video series.
Mm.
Today now she's one of the top-notch editors, and she is into 5 figures, 6 figures actually, 6 figures right now. For just 8 months in my office, I ensured she went through the entire course on Coursera and paid for the certificate, which she was grateful for. But today I'm grateful that she's doing somewhere. So I've just mentioned Coursera, Udemy, Eureka. There is Tree. There is it's just a whole lot of them. There's a whole lot of them. But I'll send some of them to you guys. You have the people could just go there. But the reason I said Udemy is that Udemy has loads of free courses. They have a guided program for you. In fact, in Udemy, I have over 42 courses that I've done and I'm currently still doing. And I'm still going to add more courses to it, because if I find anything new that I do not have the financial capacity at the moment to pay for, or I just want to have an idea of what it is, I go to Udemy. They have intermediates, they have beginners, they have experts, and then they have pro. So you have all these layers of learning in Udemy. If you've done courses in Udemy and you feel you now want a university degree for it, then you move over to Coursera. You can actually get a university degree for it from schools like University of Illinois, Michigan, Cambridge, Oxford, and stuff like that. So you don't necessarily have to have money. You can learn from Udemy a skill, and then with that skill, make a little bit of money, and then go to Coursera. That's what I always advise people to do. There are loads of platforms.
From Udemy to Coursera to learn by yourself. Hope you got that, guys. So I love us to have some fun with tech, of course. I want you to now marry tech with psychology. How can tech play in the world of psychology?
Okay, I'll just tell you actually that's AI. It's called machine learning. The machine learns you and is able to give you exactly what you want. But I always tell people who are psychologists, they ought to be the richest people. Two people. Two courses you read in school and you ought to be a billionaire. I didn't misword a billionaire. Psychology and statistics. These are two key parts of, if you really read computer science in depth, these are two key parts that we use, because we have to, through psychology, understand how people think. So we're able to sell products to them. Statistics, I always do that because I'm into, I do a lot of social media marketing. Now, before I start marketing, I listen to the client extensively. I look at the target market. For example, if you go to Google and ask Google the most searched product in your area, and you can put in the last 12 hours, you'll be amazed what people have bought in the market. And if you're trying to get into selling online, that has told you what people have been asking Google. So start selling what people have been asking Google. That's a little bit of just a low level of psychology. There is what colors do people like to buy? What colors are applicable to people? These questions, you can put them into your chat GPT and say, you just tell it, if I have people who think like this, and how do I sell things to them? The statistical data will be able to tell you and help you make predictions of, if you start selling now, when you hit your 1 million, if you start selling now, how many people are you going to be able to reach in the next 10, 15 days and all that, which will help you work with your patients, because everything takes patience. Tech is not just you get in and you make the money. There's always that waiting period. I always tell people, give yourself 90 days and you'll be sure to come up with something.
90 days is more than enough. I think so too. So I'm excited to talk about the future, because the future gives us, talking about the future gives us hope that something better is coming. So what do you see as the future of tech in, let's say, 10 years? 10 years from now.
Okay. I listened to one of my mentors this morning on that, and he said to hurry to get on board, because what is the game now in tech is going to be no long. It's going to be for babies 10 years from now.
Wow.
In other words, those days coding used to be the in thing, right?
Yes.
But if you listen very well to the internet space, people are running into cybersecurity like mad because it's the quickest way to get a million. It's your quickest way to get a million. If you do just a basic course in cybersecurity, you could get employed from anywhere in the world and you could work for 4 companies at a go. All you need to do is know how to set up your systems to do what they want you to do. And you don't necessarily have to be there, you just have to monitor it. So cybersecurity was never there. It was never in the picture in 1995 when I started. In fact, it was antivirus that was the key. Today you seldomly hear about antivirus because people have found a way to just put everything in the computer and work there. And now cybersecurity is the main thing because with the advancement of IT, you no longer have thieves, but you now have hackers. They glorified the name.
Glorified, yeah.
So with hackers comes police, cybersecurity. So it's now the fence in IT. Several industries, for example, those days, you have to call a taxi. If you give somebody your taxi, for example, you have to be asking questions. So did you work today? Did you not work today? But today is not so. Boats and other taxi management system has made it easy for you to count your money very easily. So imagine in places like Dubai, they're beginning to do taxis that fly, drones that transport people. So put your mind in perspective. In another 2 years, they would have successfully done it and it will have started growing into other parts of the world. So for those who have cars right now, have a think. Cars may not be the priority 10 years from now. 10 years backwards, oil, fuel were the in thing. But now you have electric cars. And I hear there's one in Zimbabwe that you don't have to charge from the day you buy it. You're on. It uses radio frequencies. So think of what tech would make people develop in the next 2 years and you'll understand your next 10 years. So my advice is get on board fast, get learning very quickly. 90 days, I said, is enough for you to be productive and then start going with the tide.
That's a very, very lovely way to end this conversation. Thank you so much, Mr. Edward, for being in the studio. And I learned a lot. And I hope you guys learned a lot from Mr. Edward. And so we come to the end of this very special techie episode of Off the Clock. Watch out for his digital academy. If you know you need to be in the space as soon as possible, you can hit us up. I think we'll drop a number down below in the description box so you can just hit us up. Let us know what you want and we'll get you started on your journey into tech. And like I will always say, there is always a silver lining in every situation. Just look for it, find it, and stay happy. I love you. See you next time.